Wednesday evening to your Yellow Jackets are back from the bye and back onto the lights this Saturday. Boys, Saturday night at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Few atmospheres more special. Can't wait to see you out there. At long last, it's the ACC home opener for your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets as they face one of the surprise teams in conference, the 5-0 Duke Blue Devils. They'll try to put that first blemish on the Blue Devils record. Tommy's Leather, 8 o'clock this Saturday. Can't wait to talk to you about that matchup and much more over the next 50 minutes on a brand new edition of the Brent Key Coach Show, driven by Hyundai. We are live tonight, as always, from our great friends at New Realm Brewing Company on the east side Beltline of Atlanta. I'm Andy Demetra. Let's welcome in the man himself, doing some little furniture rearranging here before we get going. Head coach of your Yellow Jackets, Brent Key. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
You're not just somebody who puts on a headset and gets wound up. You're actually shifting the table here, full service operation with you. I appreciate that.
Just need some elbow room just to,
Yeah, I get it. You're an offensive lineman. You got to have a little more space to work with. Okay, so the bye week, you're idle from the schedule, but that's never time that's spent idly in any football program. Besides getting healthy, how'd you get better as a team during this off week?
Yeah, well, so we start off after the game, and really what we do, I put the schedule together, set the schedule, let the staff know in our staff meeting on Friday night before the game. So there's never an emotional decision made, after a football game on how you're going to take the next week. You make the decision what's best for the team where you're at right then. And we came, it's been because it was a long. It was 5 games, preseason. Three games of travel. So Sunday, I gave them off, gave the staff off. Players went in, got a lift in, some treatment. Then Monday we came in as a staff, watched the previous game, then spent really the next couple of days just on self-scout. And self-scout and everything, offense, defense, special teams. You self-scout individually the players, give them what they're doing well, what they need to do better, how they need to improve. Coaches meet with players individually, meet on academics, meet where they're, see where they're at academically. Then, Tuesday and Wednesday were, and traditionally in the past, those have been practices that were, really fundamental practices, and but we were pretty banged up, and we needed to make sure our guys got back. So we went out, did some individual things, a lot of corrections from the first 5 games. Developmental player work, had about probably 60% of the team. Basically, anybody that's not played 50% or more of the snaps during the season, they would go out in pads, and we had some good work with those guys. And then on Thursday, we started up Duke preparation.
Yeah, for those developmental guys, last week was a great week for them to hasten their development and continue their climb up the depth chart. Let's talk about the Louisville game. It was not for lack of opportunities. You guys created those for yourself, but there's a difference sometimes between creating opportunities and cashing in on those. What'd you impart to your team following that performance versus Louisville to make sure that down the road you are able to cash in those opportunities and get the outcome that eluded you against the Cardinals?
Yeah, well, what I told the team right after the game in the locker room, and what I told the media in the press conference, really was exactly right. It was the same thing I told the team when we got together on Tuesday and had a team meeting. All right, preparing the right way, practicing the right way, and then playing hard. Right, those give you a great chance to be competitive in a football game. They guarantee absolutely nothing. All right, now if you don't do those things, you're probably going to be guaranteed a loss. All right, so we've done those things. We're conditioned to do those things. The things we've got to do, it comes down to decision making, to the execution of decision making within a game. It's the critical times, critical plays when the I guess you'd say in the heat of the battle, that we've got to be able to play fast and make fast decisions and make the right ones, not to second guess ourselves, not to be tentative, not to be slow, not to do something as we call a boneheaded type thing that we hadn't done before. So that's what our job has been the last 2 weeks, is really to put the focus and the emphasis on the decision making within the game and the elevated execution.
How do you coach that? You talked at your press conference today about playing fast and mentally being fast when you're out on that field. There's a difference, I know, between making a quick decision versus a rash one or a reckless one, and it turns into a very costly mistake. How do you exactly teach that as a staff?
Well, no one goes on the football field and is not trying to win. I mean, you and not try to win. So that was the first thing that we talked to the guys about. All right, so why do you make those decisions? Why do those things happen? All right, well, it's we equate it back really to military training, being in the heat of the battle, and like I said earlier today, I mean, it's no means equating what we do to a bullet flying at you, but the training, the preparation really is the same, and having to make those critical decisions. So as coaches, we've got to continue to put the pressure on them in practice. The emphasis of every singular play, whether it's the first play of walkthrough in the beginning of practice or the last play of a corrections walk at the end of a practice, and then everything in between. It's got to be the most important play of the day, and we've got to continue to elevate those things.
The book has been closed on Louisville, but this is the first chance on your show to talk about Louisville. Offensively, what'd you make of that day? Haynes King threw for more than 300 yards. You got some great downfield strikes to the likes of Eric Singleton. Also had some missed opportunities in goal line situations. I don't know if some people thought the offense looked or felt flat versus Louisville. It was a very good Cardinals defense, by the way. What was your kind of final assessment of the offense's day in Louisville?
It comes down to situational football. Being able to execute in the situational times, and that's the thing we've got to continue to get better at. Up until that game, I think we'd been really good in the and ones. The third and ones, the fourth and ones. We had one very critical not get against Syracuse on a 4th and 1, and all the other ones have been good. And we've been in that. We've had the ability to get a yard when needed, and it gave me the confidence to be able to go for it on 4th. So then we come out of that game, and the and ones were about 50%, and they were very critical times. So we made it. Made a couple of them, but the ones we really needed to make, we didn't make. So the situational football, and then the second thing is, we're creating explosives. We're generating explosives in the passing game. Right? Our explosives aren't finishing in the end zone. Our explosives are finishing, all right, it's a 45-yard throw, and it's a 45-yard gain. It's a 50 and 50, 50 and 55. So it becomes a long process to get to the end zone to score. So we've got to continue to generate and find ways to create those explosives that are going to free guys up. Not where we're winning, beating man-to-man coverage, and you're going to be blanketed. But things we can really create separation and get guys open so we can finish in the end zone and create some quicker strikes.
Well, one thing that did stay consistent is the Cardinals, you kept a clean pocket for Haynes King. That's another game without allowing a sack. Still no sacks surrendered by your offensive line this season. You're one of 3 FBS teams remaining, the only one in the Power 4 that is yet to allow a sack. And I know the scheme and the savviness of the quarterback accounts for some of that number, but are you surprised that the pass protection has become such a strength of the defensive line? Because I remember in the preseason, at one point you said it felt like your run blocking was pretty markedly ahead of the pass pro.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, I guess that's the best way to say I was wrong.
I try to be as diplomatic and tactful as I can.
I mean, I guess I was dead wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, maybe you were not wrong at the time. From what you saw at that point in preseason camp, yeah, the run blocking was better than the pass protection, but now as the season has unfolded, it's kind of been flipped.
Yeah, I think there's so many factors behind that. To not have given up a sack, that's negative plays that you hadn't surrendered. So that's a positive, but I'll tell you this: I'd rather get that 3rd and 1 and have a few sacks on the transcript right now.
Well, what does the offense need to do to recapture some of that efficiency in the run game? The last 2 conference games, Syracuse and Louisville, maybe not getting those 1, 2, 3 tough yards that you need in those critical moments, like you had alluded to.
Yeah, and not to push the question aside, but there's several things that we can do and we are doing and we will do on Saturday, and hopefully we see the results. Obviously don't want to get into to those things of what we are doing, but we know we've got to be able to run the football. We've got to be able to get the running backs loose. We've got to be able to have some success there because everything else comes off of it. And whether you're in 4 or 5 wide or you're in 2 tight end sets. I mean, you've got to be a balance. You got to show balance. And right now, defenses are playing us, stopping the run and playing umbrella behind us and keeping the explosives in front. All right, and allowing us to go really that 30 to 30, the 40 to 40, area, and making us earn the hard drives. And you look at the number of drives we've had in games. The last couple of games were a little bit more, but they're way below what the average you would think we should be having, and those are the reasons why. So we've got to open it up a little bit more and be able to do those things to create more explosives, create more drives, to create more balance in the offense.
You get a great challenge on Saturday from a Duke team that, like we said, is 5-0. Blue Devils, second in the nation in tackles for loss. They're fifth in the country in sacks, as I'm sure you're aware. Tech fans are now as well. We'll dive much more into the opportunity this Saturday between your Yellow Jackets and Duke Blue Devils. We're just getting underway. Another edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show live from New Realm Brewing on the East Side Beltline. We'll take our first time out. We're back after this on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Fall is finally upon us, and that means football season, pumpkin spice, and bugs. But it's still warm here in Georgia, which means the local populations of pests like mosquitoes, ants, roaches, and rodents are still out and about. Luckily, you can trust the experts at Arrow Exterminators to protect your family and keep your home or business pest-free inside and out. The professionals at Arrow understand that it's not just any home, it's your home. Schedule your free pest inspection today. Call 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com. At
home, on your phone, in the backyard alone, you can play all day, make some money. Anytime, Digi Games are online.
Digi Games from the Georgia Lottery are online with over 50 fun games, plus your favorite draw games. Mega Millions, Powerball, Keno, Cash 3, Cash 4, Fantasy 5, and Cash Pop.
Digi Games, draw games, it's all online.
Win money on your phone, tablet, or laptop at PlayDigi.com. Play responsibly.
Hi, Georgia Tech sports fans. GT grad Charlie Reimer here. If you haven't visited Macklemore, what are you waiting for? We're located on Lookout Mountain, just a 2-hour drive north of Bobby Dodge Stadium. You know us for our highly acclaimed golf course, but we offer so much more. Stress-free living above the clouds, 60-mile mountain views, and early spring, our luxurious Cloudland Lookout Mountain Hotel opens, and just wait till you see our new golf course that begins play late next summer. Check us out at themacklemore.com. Go Yellow Jackets!
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Associated Credit Union's Prosper checking account earns more than 40 times the interest rate paid on the average checking account nationwide. That's more cha-ching in your checking account each month. With no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee, this is the perfect checking account for adding more cha-ching each month. Associated Credit Union is here to help you live, bank, grow, and cha-ching. Certain terms and conditions apply. Learn more at acuonline.org/prosper checking. Federally insured by NCUA.
When it comes to barbecue, it's not just food, it's a craft. And at City Barbecue, we take it seriously. That's why we only use the finest cuts of meat with hand-rubbed spices, slow smoked on site for up to 18 hours with local Georgia wood. At City Barbecue, we don't just serve barbecue, we craft it, and you'll taste the difference. Stop in today to any one of our 7 Atlanta area locations for an unforgettable meal, or order online at citybbq.com. You'll love some City Barbecue.
The Jackets only play here. We are the official home of Yellow Jackets football. 680 The Fan on FM at 93.7. The latest on Yellow Jackets football. It's the Coach Brent Key Show, driven by Hyundai on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, live once again tonight at New Realm Brewing Company on the east side Beltline of Atlanta. A little more than 48 hours until Tomies Leather at Bobby Dodd Stadium, the Hyundai Field. Your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets taking on the Duke Blue Devils. Of course, with the ditching of divisions in the ACC last year, Tech and Duke did not square off, and that stopped a streak of 90 consecutive years coach that Georgia Tech and Duke had played. I like that you did not know that because it means you were worried about much more practical matters like what it'll take to get the win over Duke. But, yeah, a lot of people would not have realized Duke and Georgia Tech had met 90 consecutive years prior to being off the schedule on 2023.
Well, you looked at me after a statement, not a question, so I wasn't really sure what to.
Oh, you didn't know whether you should
I didn't know.
reply to
I didn't
it?
know
Or just,
were you going to keep going? Was it just, were you saying that for effect, or you wanted an effect from me? But
no, I'll take that awkward silence. Keeps you honest.
That's
crazy,
even
though.
more.
Yeah. And by the way, you talked about going into the bye week. You gave your whole staff Sunday off, and I know typically Sunday's a pretty back-breaking work day for you guys. You may get in around 11 a.m., 12, and I'm sure a lot of the coaches have been burying their nose in film study well before they arrive at the office, and then that's when the game planning starts for the following game. So you gave your entire staff off on Sunday. And we know what kinds of insane hours football coaches keep during the year. I don't know if it's like a taboo subject, but I'm sure all coaches can relate. How nice is it to get that first, sleep in during the season, right?
Yeah, much needed. Much needed for everyone. We spend a lot of time together. And a lot of the guys, I mean, they're in dark offices that – I mean, they see the light of day at practice and come back in, and they don't see the sunlight until practice the next day. And to be able to really get away from each other, as well as everyone gets along and everyone likes each other. It's just sometimes you need to get away, you need to decompress, and that's what I wanted. And I wanted guys to be able to do that. I wanted the players to be able to do that. I think that's really important. Have time to focus on their academics as well. Sundays are, back years ago, before everything was so digital and you could take things home and have things, to do. I mean, Sundays were, 7:30 a.m. till, 2:30 a.m. 1:30, 2:30 a.m. the next following morning. Well, now everything's digitized. You have the setups on your iPads or your laptops, and there's not a coach I know of that doesn't watch the game after the game at home that night. So they individually watch it then. When used to, you'd come in and spend that 3-4 hour block watching it in your office because you had no other way. So it's allowed us to, still do the same work, but not have to come in. And I'm a big believer in it. It's important for coaches to be able to go to church on religious services on Sunday mornings. Same with the players, and be able to spend that time, doing what's really important in life, and then come in and we start our meetings at 10. And there's, I always ask, does everyone have a chance to go to church that they want to go to and have an early service, and they do. So
that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you're working out at home, but you get your child tugging on your leg saying, "Dad, can you read me a story?" And whereas in the past that wouldn't have been an option, you can at least take a break, do that, get right back to work.
It's important for me on Sunday mornings to be able to have pancakes with Harper.
How are you making the pancake batter? Are you flipping them, or are you just eating them?
I'm not. Harper makes the pancakes.
Okay.
She makes really good pancakes. Sometimes there's chocolate chips in them. Sometimes they're different colors. Sometimes they're different shapes and different animals. She might be the best pancake maker in the whole world.
That's a child prodigy.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it. You also gave a very detailed breakdown during your press conference on Tuesday of your hanging of the Halloween decorations, and clearly there are no half measures in the Key household when it comes to getting the house adorned and ready for Halloween season.
No, that's there's always a bye week at some point before Halloween. I mean, whether it's a week before, 2 weeks before, or 6 weeks before. And that's something the last couple of years that we've really it's fun for me to be able to do that with her, with Harper. Let her see the different things we put up, and her have her hand in them. She's putting up tombstones and taking the clowns and whatnot and putting them in different places, and the little mechanical kids. So
helping prop up the 12-foot skeleton.
Yeah. I mean, that thing's eerie. And it's up on a hill, too, overlooking the cemetery in our front yard that we created. And, the lighting on it. I think the coolest thing is the seesaw, the two zombie kids on the seesaw that go back and forth.
It's like battery-operated where they're constantly teeter-tottering back and forth, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. I like that.
No, that's a fun time for me and her to be able to spend together, and just to see the joy on her face. But not only that, but her friends, like when they'll come over and want to see things. So that's always something I do on a couple days during the bye weekend.
All right. Well, the house is clearly ready for Halloween, and I know you guys are ready in the football facility for Duke this weekend. Once again, 8 p.m. Tommy's Leather, your Yellow Jackets, and the Duke Blue Devils. Georgia Tech all-time 54 wins, 35 losses, 1 tie against the Blue Devils. Eric Singleton in that Louisville game surpassed 1,000 career receiving yards. Did it in his 17th game. Second fastest Yellow Jacket to reach 1,000 receiving yards. Only player who did it faster,
Calvin Johnson.
What a guess. Yeah, 14 games. And it's funny, I talked with Eric. He's our pregame guest this week on the radio network. He used to grow up watching Megatron. Loved watching him, even though they're completely different receivers in terms of body type. And so he feels very honored to be mentioned now in the same breath as Calvin. But it's not just the speed of Eric Singleton that has allowed him to be so productive so early. How have you seen Eric evolve as a wide receiver from last year at this time to now?
Wow. I mean, last year everyone knew he's fast. He could run the go routes. He could run the deep posts. He could do those things. But his really development as a true receiver, I mean, it's been great to see, to watch, to the chemistry he has with the quarterback, the way he affects others around him, his work ethic. As he continues to get stronger, he becomes more explosive. I think the ones that he has not caught that have been near him this year. I mean, if he had caught them, I mean, they would have been absolute acrobatic circus catches. And he still has pulled some of those down. So, I think he's grown so much, as a receiver, but also so much emotionally, just being able to put, hey, he has a drop, be able to put it behind him, move on to the next one, then make a big play later on down the road. I think some of the underestimated or underappreciated things he does just from a blocking standpoint, to be 185 pounds, and the way he gets on people and makes things go, and understanding that it's a team game, and the unselfishness that he plays with.
We had a really fun conversation. You'll hear that on the Ramblin' Wreck pregame show Saturday night when Georgia Tech takes on the Duke Blue Devils. I want to flip to the other side of the football, because right now you guys rank 18th in the nation in rush defense. You only allowed 57 rushing yards to Louisville. I looked it up. That was the fewest yards you had allowed to an ACC opponent since 2017. Cardinals only mustered 2.1 yards a carry. They came in averaging better than 8 yards a tote. What do you think has accounted for the improved rush defense that you've seen so far, even without as many sacks and TFLs kind of adding to that total?
Yeah, I mean, everyone focuses on up front of the sacks, the TFLs, and I'm a big believer in creating the havoc and doing those things and the havoc plays. But at the same time, there's two ways to go about it. You be in the backfield, cause disruption, or playing at the line of scrimmage, playing blocks, allowing linebackers to make plays. I think the scheme that Tyler's put in, I think they're growing each week in it. I think they're learning from mistakes. They're improving. We've had some big ones, and usually the majority of those this season have come from a missed tackle or a missed assignment. And then Jess Simpson. I mean, I cannot say enough about Jess and the job he does. How he affects the players, the teacher that he is. I mean, being such a long-time high school head coach, yes, successful one too. You see the teacher background in him, because that's what he's a phenomenal teacher. And then on top of that is the added depth. I mean, our guys now are having to play 25 plays a game up front, 25, 30 plays. I mean, last year there were times we had guys that had to play 60, 65 plays in a game on defensive line. That's unheard of. We can't do that. We've got to continue to bolster the depth, and us doing that up front's allowed us to be able to have more success and continue to improve. But we got to continue to add that depth everywhere.
It's paid dividends so far. You will face the reigning ACC running back of the week in Duke star Thomas, who's gone over 100 rushing yards 3 consecutive games. We'll take another timeout as we get you set for Duke and your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets Saturday night, 8 p.m. at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. We're here at New Realm Brewing Company, Atlanta's favorite restaurant and brewery. It's the Brent Key Coaches Show on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Here comes the Ramblin' Wreck. My family and I love watching Georgia Tech football. Though it's hard to choose between the big screen at home and the excitement of being in the stands. Either way, Scana Energy's part of the action as a proud partner of Georgia Tech. So join Scana and my family in cheering on the Yellow Jackets this season. Sign up with Scana today and get up to $100. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/jackets for details. Limited time offer, terms and conditions apply.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
It's college football season, so you need all the energy you can get. Luckily, Georgia Power knows a thing or two about saving energy. We understand that energy costs are an important part of your budget. That's why we're dedicated to providing tools and assistance that can help make a difference, so you can save your energy for the game. Visit georgiapower.com/myenergy to learn more.
Join your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on Saturday, October 5th at 8 p.m. as they take on the Duke Blue Devils in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field, presented by Kroger.
Into the end zone! Touchdown, Jackets!
The tailgate starts at 4 p.m. when North Avenue transforms into hell of a block party driven by Hyundai, including a free concert featuring hit country music artist Lauren Elena at 6 p.m. Tickets start at only $30 at ramblinwreck.com/tickets. Sting 'em. Join your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on Saturday, October 5th at 8 p.m. as they take on the Duke Blue Devils in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field, presented by Kroger.
Into the end zone! Touchdown, Jackets!
The tailgate starts at 4 p.m. when North Avenue transforms into hell of a block party driven by Hyundai, including a free concert featuring hit country music artist Lauren Elena at 6 p.m. Tickets start at only $30 at ramblinwreck.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
At Hyundai, we make a big deal about the little things, like the little fact that 9 Hyundai vehicles have earned IIHS top safety picks this year, and offering a little thing called America's Best Warranty, because delivering safety and quality, pretty big deal. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer today. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey.
Right now, for a limited time, get 1.99% APR for 60 months on the Hyundai Tucson or Tucson Hybrid. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end October 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Hello, Mike.
Whoa, Brian Finneran, what is this?
Well, Halloween's almost here, and I'm working on a new look for my Clicky's cart. Gotta have it ready for trick-or-treating so I can tote my little goblins all around.
This is spooktacular.
Yep, and I dropped one of those 72-volt batteries inside so I can trick-or-treat for miles. Rumor has it, I can get up to 60 miles on a single charge.
Holy Halloween. It's a lot of trick-or-treating.
All right, well, I gotta go. Have a good day, my brother.
Hey, can I come?
No room.
Halloween is almost here, and it's the perfect time to get that Clicky's cart you've been dreaming about. Clicky's carts are the coolest golf carts on the road. Get a 2 or 5-inch lift, sound system, backup camera, all-terrain tires, and seating up to 6. You can even have it painted in your favorite team's colors. Check them out right now at golfcartsga.com. And if you mention 680 The Fan, you pay no money down, and you get payments as low as $275 a month. Don't wait. Order today, and they'll deliver it for free. Call 877-KLI-GGYS. Clicky's Carts, a Royal EV dealer.
The Jackets only play here. We are the official home of Yellow Jackets football. 680 The Fan on FM at 93.7. The latest on Yellow Jackets football. It's the Coach Brent Key Show, driven by Hyundai on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Yellow Jacket fans, be sure to visit GeorgiaPower.com/community to learn new ways to stay connected. Georgia Power, the official energy sponsor of Georgia Tech Athletics. Power on Georgia. To welcome you back to this Thursday night edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, because we had to double up one of our commercial breaks earlier. Just going to be you and me, Coach, for the next 15 minutes until the top of the hour. Hope you're ready for it.
What did I do to get so lucky?
I know, just that smile dripping with insincerity. I like that. Good thing that I've got plenty of questions left as we continue to get you set for Georgia Tech and Duke. 91st all-time meeting between the Yellow Jackets and Blue Devils. Tome East Leather, 8 o'clock. Our network airtime 6 Saturday on the Georgia Tech Sports Network from Legend Sports. If you don't mind, I want to go back to a point that you made earlier about some of those goal line situations versus Louisville, because you're facing a Duke team that's very stout defensively. We had noted their TFL and sack numbers. In a game that figures to play close, you need to be able to cash in on those opportunities. At one point, you guys this year were 14 of 15 in red zone touchdowns. 15 red zone opportunities, 14 of them had ended with touchdowns. But then you had those goal line situations in the second half, had to settle for a short-range field goal on one, then were stopped on the 4th and goal on the next one. What did you not see from the team in those situations that you had seen with a lot of efficiency before?
Yeah, we've been successful in the red area because we've been running the ball well, right? And as coverage gets tighter, when you get in the red area and you get closer to the goal line, coverage is tighter, the in line is tighter. I mean, there's not as many options on things to throw. Right? You have to be able to run the football, but at the same time, and you've got two extra hats that are closer to the ball. So we had success running it. Then we get to the game last Saturday and made the decision on the 4th and 1 at the end of the first half to go for it, and it was kind of a no-brainer for me at that point. And we scored. Well, then was it third quarter? Yeah, in the third quarter, we had a 2nd and 2, and
that was following the long completion to Singleton.
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
but we had a 2nd and 2. We ran a quarterback run. We got a yard, so it's 3rd and 1 now, and 3rd and 1. We line up. We run a dive play, and we didn't get it. So you got 2 plays in a row that we didn't get the 2 yards. So now it's 4th and 1, where conventionally for myself, that's a go all day long, right? But you also make decisions based on the flow of the game, not by strictly based on a book or a chart. So at that point, we didn't get it twice. I mean, what makes you think you're going to get it the next time? So we ended up kicking the field goal there,
which tied the game.
It did.
A lot of game left still.
A lot of game left. It was a fine decision. Then we go down the next time, and we're kind of inching it down, getting closer and closer, and we get to that 1 yard line. I think it was a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
It was 3rd and goal from the 6. Yeah.
And we get 5 yards. Get it to 4th and 1, and we don't get it. But at that point, that's different than the one early on, because you are on the 1 yard line, and now you got to make the other team go 99 yards. Right? You've got things in your things in your arsenal defensively to try to either force a 3 and out with the tight area that you're in, or get a sack with sack or a TFL, which we have a safety, and we were able to do that. So we just weren't able to capitalize as the game continued to go on.
A couple of guys that have seen more of the field of late I want to touch on. First, Saeed Gibbs. You're a transfer from Rhode Island who was an FCS freshman All-American last season. Seen more of him the last couple of outings. What's he done to crack the rotation more consistently?
Yeah, well, Saeed would have been he would have been a starter from the beginning if he hadn't gotten some of the injury bug early on. And he's a good football player. He's physical. He's tough. He gets off of blocks. He sets the edge. With so much perimeter game that we see, that's important to be able to come up and use your hands and get off a block, and he does a nice job of that. He's got a knack for blitzing and for coming off the edge on field goals. He got the block on the field goal. So seeing him back full speed and healthy really going to continue to help our defense as he's gotten more and more reps.
It's amazing that over the last 10 years, Georgia Tech has blocked the second most number of kicks in the nation, and only one behind, I think it's Oklahoma State has blocked the most, but you guys just seem to have a knack for it this year, whether it was Zeke Biggers or now Saeed Gibbs. A lot of guys, and even the ones you haven't gotten a deflection on. You've had a lot that were seemingly pretty close as well.
Yeah, that's a big part of who I am and who I want this team to be and continue to be, is the aggressive mentality of trying to force field position. And when you can block a kick, I mean, it's not just the field position that you're changing; it's the momentum in the game. especially if you can get to a punt. I mean, it's a huge momentum. We practice it. We work on it. We work a lot on it. We spend a lot of time, designing different things to be able to get there, whether it be on field goals or punts.
I think that is one of the biggest secrets when it comes to just casual viewers of football is how much stagecraft there is on field goal block, punt block. It's not as simple as the guys line up and try to beat your block and get to the kicker as fast as possible. There's a lot of twists and little cleverness baked in that maybe the average football fan doesn't know about.
Yeah, I mean, it's an offensive play and a defensive play. I mean, it's what they are. I mean, they're fourth down plays, which means no different than the offense and defense that stayed on the field. So you've got to scheme and devise. And the way I look at it is, there's really one type of field goal in PAT. Two if you count a tackle over situation inside the 12 or 15-yard line. Now, punt, in the last 10-15 years has become more more variables in it, different formations and shifts, but it's a lot less than an offensive play or a defensive play, or an offensive play for that matter. So you know pretty much what they're going to do, narrowed down to 2, 3, 4 things. So to me, those are a little bit easier to game plan and try to get those big plays.
A lot of subterfuge going on in special teams. It wouldn't be a Brent Key show if I didn't give you at least one SAT word.
What'd you say?
Subterfuge.
I have no clue. I've never heard that one.
Never?
Andy, I've never heard that thing in my life.
Go pull up the Merriam-Webster app as I ask you your next question.
I couldn't spell that if I tried.
All right, I'll give you the definition after you answer a question about Thomas Gore. How about that? Because
hey, I went to Georgia Tech. All right, I'll go math. I'll go math problems and equations and Excel and formulas. All right, without the red line, don't give me a big word because I cannot spell it.
Fair enough. Subterfuge, deceit used in order to achieve one's goal.
Huh.
Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'll use that again, never.
Okay. You know what? I'd rather that brain cell be used on something more practical in your line of work.
Blocking kicks.
Exactly.
Getting 4th and 1s, 3rd and 1s.
There you go. Somebody who has gotten a couple of TFLs now in back-to-back games is Thomas Gore, your transfer originally from Brentwood Academy in Nashville, which is the alma mater, as some of you know, of former offensive lineman Hoss Johnson, the late Brandon Adams. My nieces and nephews go to BA, incidentally. But what's made him a solid addition to Jess Simpson's defensive line group?
Yeah, wow. I mean, he's got a ton of energy. He's been you talk about the run game earlier, the run defense, and the depth that we've been able to create over there on that side of the football, and he's a big part of it. He's active. He's not the tallest guy in the world, and he shows that doesn't always matter because he's a good fit with the other guys. He's a good complement with the other guys. He's got pass rush ability. He's got the what he lacks in length. He makes up for in leverage. I talk all the time about knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses, right? And he does, and he's got good quickness. He's able to be in, as Jess calls it, move mode, and cause disruption. And and he's a great kid. I mean, Utah Smith's always got a smile on his face, always happy. I mean, his granddaddy will call me sometimes when he comes in town. He's got just good people, good family. Oh, yeah, good people.
He's just a bowling ball of butcher knives, 6 foot, 290 pounds, in Thomas Gore.
Bowling. Now, that's an old one there.
Yeah. Had to bust that one out for you.
That's a Mac McQuarterism right there.
Ooh, I like that. Good for Mac McQuarter, yeah. That was your offensive line coach, right? Your last year?
My last year, yeah. For my last year, and then as a GA, I got GA for him.
GA'd,
with him.
Set you on this path, and look at where it put you.
He really did. Coach. First 3 years was Doug Marone, and then the last couple were Mac. Both those men have had so much influence on me in my life and my coaching career. And Coach McQuarter, man, just what a good man. What a good man, good person, good family. I think the world of Coach Mack.
Has a heck of a coaching tree as well. All right, let's talk about this Duke Blue Devils team. They're 5-0. They did not receive a single vote in the Associated Press poll, which really surprises me because look, it's hard to go 5-0 out of the chute. And I know 3 of those wins have been in come-from-behind fashion, but it was impressive what they did last Saturday as they rallied from a 20-0 deficit to beat their rival, North Carolina. Let's start with their quarterback because, much like you, they plucked a guy who played at a state school in Texas. That would be Malik Murphy. Began at UT. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's thrown 12 touchdown passes, which is 3rd in the ACC. He's also tied for the ACC lead in pass attempts. What are his strengths as a quarterback?
And by the way, AP poll, they might not get. I know they got votes in the coaches poll.
That makes more sense, yeah.
I know they did on that one.
AP, they did not. I was shocked when I saw that.
Yeah. Because I vote in the coaches poll. I mean, 5-0 is hard to do. And, credit to them for what they've done. They're playing hard. They believe. I think there's a lot of similarities in things. Regardless of the score, those kids keep playing, and credit to the staff and the guys that are there now, Manny and his staff, and then from previously with Elko, and then even going back to Coach Cutt, they've instilled that into their mentality as a football team. It's something that they're going to continue to. I mean, regardless of the score. I mean, just look at last week. I mean, they're down 20-0. They come back and win 21-20. So there's always going to be a belief there. The quarterback, he's a big guy. He's got a big arm. A lot of RPOs. Based off run. A lot of max protection. Shots on normal downs. Not a lot of drop back, but more play action and max protection and RPOs until they get to the third down. So.
And Jaquez Moore was their incumbent starting running back, but he's been banged up. Did have 1 carry versus North Carolina, but Star Thomas, their transfer from New Mexico State, has come in. He's top 100 rushing yards each of the last 3 games, 166 versus North Carolina. That earned him ACC Running Back of the Week honors. What makes their defense so disruptive? 2nd in the nation in tackles for loss, 5th in sacks.
Well, it's the pressure. They are heavy blitz. They've got DBs in their program. They do a good job blitzing. They bring the nickel off the edge. They bring both safeties, whether it's in the front side A, the back side A, off the edge. It's the mix of the pressure, I think, that keeps people off balance. And now, with everything good comes weaknesses as well. So, if you protect it up, there's big holes in there, holes in the back end of it. But the thing is to be able to get it protected and hit a seam in the run game. They get up the field. So we'll get up the field on the D-line.
We'll see how it shakes out on Saturday. Brent, appreciate the time.
I appreciate it, man. Thank
you. Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra. We'll talk to you next time on the Brent Key Coaches Show.
Go Jackets.